Hi, I wanted to take a look at this R7 we've got in at the moment and spend a little bit of time sort of talking about it, because I think these are super special bikes. This is part of what people now refer to as the golden era, and it's really easy to overlook how special these were. They only produced 500 R7s, which is a tiny number really for bike figures, and this was a no holes barred attempt at winning world superbikes. So Yamaha gave the designers an open checkbook and went, we want to win. And this was their second attempt at it. The first was the OW01, which of course did extremely well. And then they came out with the R7, and it was extremely successful in the hands of people like Norrie Haga. You know, we all remember him backing one of these things in, and they were just spectacular to see on track. And I think if you revisit it now and ride one of these, they're just so exciting. This was when a homologation bike came with all the goodies attached. So this has got close ratio gearbox, it's got titanium conrods, it's got a light crank, it's got shower form injectors and titanium valves and all the sort of goodies that, you know, made the world superbike special. You actually got on your bike. And in sort of production form, when these came out, they were held back, they were restricted for sort of road emission laws and things, but you could de-restrict them by changing the ECU and a couple of bits, and there was sort of two rows of injectors. There was a normal set of injectors in the side of the throttle bodies, and then there was some shower form injectors across the top, and by de-restricting it you effectively switched on the second row of injectors and took it up to sort of full power, which was only 135, 140 brake. But this thing has got almost like what feels like a GP chassis. It's got full Öhlins suspension, it's light, it's stiff, and the revs are really peaky, you know, it's really quite cammy, which you just don't get on bikes now. And so it's a very exciting bike to ride and to be on, and it just feels special, and it's quite hard to put into words the difference between a proper race bike and a road bike. But this is a proper race bike. The lights are merely for show, and this thing is as close to a superbike as you could get, and probably still can get now, because a lot of the road going versions of the bikes that they're racing on track are very different, and really you get very little of the same machine for your money. Whereas at this point, you know, 90% of what you got here is what they were using in world superbikes and BSB. And when you ride it, you can see that. They just feel so good. And so as usual, we're perhaps going to stick the camera on. We'll go out and hopefully you'll be able to hear and see the way that the bike picks up and responds, and just get a little bit of an understanding as to how special these are. This particular bike has got a full Akropovich titanium system on, which is really nice. It's got the Marcassini wheels fitted to it. Otherwise it's all standard, and I'll have the standard parts with it too. So it's a real nice mixture of a bike that you can use and is very collectible. And so I'm quite excited about going out on this today, and I'll get the gear on and give it a run. Just stopped for a second to catch my breath, And I wanted to talk a second about how amazing these are. I forgot how good they are to ride. They're so revvy. It's like a 600, and the tall first gear, you have to slip the clutch like a novice to get away from the lights, and there's a lot of drama involved in riding. It's quite involved, but the revs pick up, and the sounds from the intake is just fantastic. It's really intoxicating. Such a lovely fun thing to be on. You're not going that quickly by modern standards. One of today's 1000cc bikes would absolutely kill it. But it's not the point. The point is that you're having a lot more fun in the process. And I just think it's such an amazing, lovely thing. The chassis feels so stiff, and it turns so easily. You only have to really look where you want to go, and it just rolls into the turns. You flick through roundabouts, down country lanes. It's so positive. It feels really good on the front end. I actually raced one of these back in the day, and we had an R1 engine in our R7 because they stopped the 750 class, and it was kind of a little bit later on, and they called them R71s, and it was a fantastic bike. The chassis was brilliant. It was so strong. It always had that feeling like you could hit a 6-pound hedgehog with your knee on the floor and it wouldn't move. And obviously it's been a few years since I've ridden one, and to get back on this today was really great because it reminded me about that bike and the sort of fun that we had with it back in the time. And actually now with the 750 engine in, it's better because the 750 is much revvier, it's much more fun, and it actually keeps the speed down a little bit, and it's kind of a nicer, freer, more fun bike to ride on the road. And so yeah, just what a fantastic machine. The fact they only made 500 of these, and when you ride one, you really just think what a privilege it is to get on one, and how special they really are. And I think at the moment, obviously these are still quite a lot of money, but I do have to wonder that in a few years' time, if they'll be out of reach for most of us, because as more and more people switch on to collecting bikes from this era, I think that the prices will just go through the roof because there's only 500, and quite a few of them got raced, and so there's probably 250, 300 good quality examples left. And grab one while you can. Get yourself a piece of World Superbike history because you won't regret it. And they're just such amazing bikes.